At this moment in time, most of the Western Hemisphere is in the grip of a cult called democracy. Lilith is the mother of democracy. Her husband is in the Bible is Satan. The father is God's adversary, the father of liars. So at this moment, you're all in a cult's grip. At this moment, the cult is busy borrowing money off China that I can never repay. The Lord says, blessed is he who repays. The opposite of blessed is he who repays is cursed is him who doesn't repay. So basically, you're all in the grip of a curse now. Gross darkness will cover the face of the whole earth. They have no way of paying back this paper debt to people. So now you're all in the grip of the cult. Lilith is the goddess who loves war. Now my mates usually get on with one another. They're all, when I used to be over in London, to be involved in selling coke and shit like that. And there'd never be any trouble until someone didn't pay the debt. It's the same over here in Ireland. You see people getting whacked all the time on the front pages. That's usually because they don't repay the money they owe or they knocked someone. That's usually what gets you whacked or grassing. Yeah. But the main thing is communism is coming up, rising up now, yeah? It's probably God's curse rising up on you. You won't be able, all the governments in particular now, Italy is borrowing loads of money off China. There's no way they're going to be able to repay it. As a Christian nation, as Christian people and Christian nations, you have to repay your debts. If you owe someone money, you have to pay it back. Or else, after 7 years, that individual can forgive that debt. So, for instance, in America, you have a king, descendant of a king. So basically, Donald Trump is a king that's ruling a democracy. He's descended from a line of kings. So you're seeing the actual Bible prophecy of the rising of the kings. It's not the rising of the earth mother, Elizabeth, or Mark Durkin, whatever his name is, Fine Gael. You don't vote for a king. The king is simply the king, chosen by the Lord, who has probably an adamant harder than flint on his forehead. That's how you know him. So basically what happens when communism takes over, communism usually comes after democracy fails. Yeah, or you get fascism, one or the other. I'd go as far as to say you'd probably be better off with fascism. Communism, they usually kill a lot of people. It usually comes from democracy. Democracy gets into debt. You can see the Weimar Republic when Hitler took over. Or you can see what happened in Russia when Stalin and all took over. They whacked everybody. The same in communist China. Mao killed millions of people. 100 million people have died. But the thing is, there's a forgiveness of debt in the Bible after 7 years. If you're a country of the faith, there's a way round it. The Lord always gives you the way out. It's up to you to choose it. So basically, if you keep going with democracy and voting for all of this shit and listening to the priests, because remember, the priests work for the Pope. The Pope owns the banks, the biggest banks, and that's how you get debt, usury. See, you call it debt now, but what it's actually called usury in the Bible. That means the interested, that means the people who are gathering interest on money. You're not allowed to get interest on money. You're not allowed to get interest on fuck all, because that's greed. The Lord gave you everything for free. He didn't charge you interest on anything, and you have to do the same. So basically, if you owe someone a tenner, you give them back a tenner. If you want to give them a gift, that's your own business. You know what I mean? But it's not under Christian faith. It's not. It's frowned upon, and it puts a curse on you. So right now in this country, you're in so many trillion of debt or billion of debt, and nobody wants to. There's no way you're going to be able to pay it back. So the only way for you to get out of this curse, or for anyone to get out of this course, is to go back, return to the faith, and after so many years, if you have the right person in control of your finances, or control of their finances, they can forgive the debt. They have to forgive the debt after so many years. But here's the thing, nobody really knows how it works anymore, only special experts, you know. Nobody knows how that works because it's not taught to us. The banks don't want you knowing. I don't want you embracing the system created by the Father to keep you out of debt. They want you in debt because they're greedy. It usually goes hand in hand with democracy. Democracy is Lilith, the goddess who loves war. Lilith has been behind carnage and murder on this earth since the days of the Garden of Eden. She's nasty. So everyone, oh yeah, Satan is a man. Well, is she the adversary of God? It sounds like it. So she's an adversary. She's a Satan. So basically, you have Lilith, the goddess who loves war, democracy, voting for stuff. You're not supposed to vote for stuff. Well, you know what I mean? But that far down the road, the Chinese are building something called the Belt and Road Initiative. The Belt and Road Initiative is China expanding out from behind its wall. See, for years, the dragon people. See, China used to be part of the dragon cult. So the Chinese dragons came down from heaven. No, we have a dragon coming down. We have a dragon that's above us in heaven as well. It's the enemy. The Chinese have exactly the same thing, except that in the old days the dragon came down. 9 dragons or 8 dragon kings came down from heaven and taught them the Chinese culture. But the communists got rid of that dragon culture, and that was the one where they stayed behind the wall. Now they don't have that dragon culture anymore. That's finished with. The communists burned down all the statues, got rid of that old religion to the most part, except they have the pyramids. They haven't pulled down the pyramids. They won't open. The Chinese government will not open the pyramids in China for love nor money. So Qin comes from Queen, the Qin dynasty or the Qin dynasty, and they had a saying in calligraphy, "This is our land." That's why they built the wall. The story goes that they really built the wall because there was loads of giants running around in them days. That's why they had a big wall to keep them out. But that's another story. But some say it's for the Mongols, but there was more to it than that. But basically you had these dragon kings who came down. So in our Bible, in the truth, Michael the Archangel goes up into heaven and battles with the dragon. Michael and that's in the future. That has to happen in the future. He goes up into the skies and fights with the dragon on a kamikaze mission by the sounds of it. He's gonna lose his earthly life. But the Bible says there's no greater sacrifice than someone who gives up their life for those who they love, and along those lines. But basically what you have is you're all in debt, you're all in the grip of a cult. A bloodthirsty cult of Lilith, democracy. And they will do and they speak with forked tongues. Lilith is a dragon. Yeah? Now tell me politicians that don't speak with forked tongues these days. Point them out to me. Yeah, but you have to remember there is a lot of people on the earth who are of that dragon lineage, and they're called tares. There are tares amongst the wheat. No matter what happens, they will back up the priests, and they will back up the they back up the priests, and they'll back up the politicians to seduce you. The last thing they want to see is you pulling down all the churches. That has to happen, and getting rid of the idolatry. That's how you combat a dragon. A dragon has its power because of your idolatry. If you take away its idolatry, see, the battle is not with the flesh, it's not with the Chinese people, it's not with the Africans, the battle is with idolatry and how it gets its power. Idolatry gets its power with you kneeling down in front of a dead object with a bit of paint on it, or a bit of gold, or a bit of tin on it, and calling it a god. That's what they do. The idolatry is all over the place. The Catholic Church is expert at spreading idolatry, and usually is across the face of the earth now. So when you look at the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative, do you know what a belt is? It's a belt buckle. It's for chastisement. So they're telling you it's the Belt and Road Initiative. Years ago, not now, when a kid was being naughty, the dad would take off the belt and give them a smack of it across the back of the legs. That usually tamed them a bit, and that made them see that they weren't little emperors. A bit of chastisement is good in moderation, but there's always some sick bastard out there that'll abuse their kids and beat them to fucking death or do something like that. But the Belt and Road Initiative is you're getting a belt to put around it. If you look at Britain, they have the belt around the Order of the Garter. That's for chastising heathens. So if you're a heathen, you get chastised with the belt. So you have the Belt and Road Initiative. So basically, They're telling you and your politicians and now said the cult of Lilith that you're gonna fucking get it. You're gonna get belted. You're gonna get leathered.